Reorganization at every level of the perceptual hierarchy. My name is Eva de Hullu. Welcome to this presentation put together for the 2023 edition of the IAPCT conference. In this presentation, I will take you on a treasure hunt through the perceptual control hierarchy. In my chapter in the PCT handbook, I've explored the hierarchy as it is proposed by William Powers, with the hope to encourage renewed attention to the levels of the hierarchy. In this talk I will expand upon those explorations, dive in a bit deeper and beyond Powers' own hypothesis. PCT people greatly appreciate model building, tinkering with variables and connections until we make it work. I will approach model building a bit differently. We will do the modeling with the mind. We'll imagine our way through the hierarchy and all its components and functions, and we'll often take the perspective of a particular control system at a particular level. I will not share formulas and numbers, but use language and visuals, and I've designed these tokens to guide us through all the levels and help us increase our understanding. I will go through the levels one by one, from top to bottom, and at each level we'll stop to consider what kind of perception is controlled at that particular level. What does the control system take care of? What is its input? What does it get from lower levels? What does it compare that signal to? What is its reference? Or in other words, what does it want to achieve? And what does it do to achieve its goal? At each level, I will compare two different aspects of the control system. On the one hand, regular control through the learned hierarchy. This can be considered regulation. This type of control is aimed at keeping error at a minimum, and it achieves its current goal by varying the output signal, setting reference values for lower levels. So that's like regular control, normal control as we all know it. On the other hand, we'll be exploring what reorganization at each level looks like, and this is the innate learning process in the perceptual hierarchy that operates to solve sustained error. And it does so by changing the current goal, which means that the current reference value varies. Like this. At the reorganization part, my explanations may be a bit different from Powers' explanations. As far as I know, he never discussed reorganization at different levels of the hierarchy, and the process as described is to me always a bit too imprecise, like random change of parameters in the control systems, like what parameters exactly, how do they change? And I decided to understand reorganization as varying the reference of the current control system, while other functions and signals in the control system do exactly what they do normally. And since perceptual control systems consist of connections between signals, I imagine this process as the creation and changing of connections of like this branches between control systems, like a network growing organically. And what you see here is a view of the entire 11-level perceptual control hierarchy as proposed by Powers with the use of my symbols. And from the top down, I'll be starting at level 11 with the system concepts and go down step by step to the first level. And at the end, we'll stop at the entire hierarchy again. Level 11 controls combinations of principal level perceptions as a single unit, such that it forms a coherent organization of principles. For example, a worldview, an identity, a personality, or a theory, such as PCT. And I suggest that control at this level operates through varying attention to control systems below, in order to control what you let into your world and what you leave out. So level 11 keeps your world stable and coherent. When would reorganization be needed at this level? At a small scale, reorganization at this level is quite normal. Like for example, when you encounter perceptions that are not part of your world already. Perhaps through this presentation you might rearrange some of your understanding of perceptual control theory and hence change the system concept. On a larger scale, sustained error at the system concept level could be a crisis, like when worldviews conflict and when you encounter something which should not exist. Reorganization at this level is the integration of new information into the system concept. It allows the system concept itself to vary. And this looks like integrating a new worldview. It is the attitude of curiosity, where your perceptual system grows by allowing a new experience to exist and take a place within your perceptual world. Level 10, the principles level, controls your sense of meaning, why you do what you do. It takes care of the quality of control, of what is important to you, like safety or justice. And my hypothesis is that this level, unlike the levels below, does not receive a copy of the perceptual signal, but a copy of the error signals of the connected control systems as its input. I think so because it only acts when there is sustained error in its connected systems, when it does not feel good, so it needs this error signal. And it wants to feel good, it wants to decrease that error, and it does so by reorganizing control systems with the sustained error. I think the principle level has an important part to play in the reorganization process. Reorganization at this level is needed when there is sustained error in a principle. And this feels like distress. Reorganization at this level is the transformation or formation of a principle. It allows the principle itself to vary. And it brings into awareness all connected perceptions at various levels. If, for example, you feel unsafe, reorganizing into a sense of safety might involve many things at the same time. For example, taking a deep breath, feeling your feet on the ground, lowering your voice, taking a look around to scan your surroundings. And successful reorganization may look and feel like having a deep insight, a moment of clarity, of deep understanding. It is an intuitive, sensed experience in the here and now. Level 9 controls programs, a structure of tests and selection points across sequences. It takes care of planning, imagining, and making choices, and it organizes multiple sequences into a branching structure of possibilities. It wants to keep the program running until the goal is attained, and it does so by varying sequences. A classic example is looking for your lost keys. First, check your pocket. If not there, look in your purse. If it's not in your purse, look at the hook besides the door, else look at the table. Keep looking until you find the keys, and then the program quits. So reorganization is needed when there is sustained error at the program level, and this, I imagine, looks like a mistake. Reorganization at this level allows the program itself to vary, which means that it connects new branches to the tree of possibilities. You can go this way or that way. If this doesn't work, try that instead. And this takes place through imagining or through systematic trial and error in the mind or in practice. And as a result, you have increased the number of choices or learned a new way to solve a problem. Level 8 orders combinations of underlying perceptions into sequences, a predetermined order in time, place, or process. For example, a melody is a sequence of separate tones. Dun, dun, dun. These are events in an order. So following a clear trail is sequence control. And this level takes care of making your perception predictable. This sense of continuity allows you to be immersed in the process. So what it gets is the current perceptual signals from lower levels, and it compares this signal to the expected or predicted perception. And it makes the world more predictable by ordering category perceptions in time, space, or process. So reorganization is needed when there is sustained error at the sequence level, and this will feel like you are in the wrong place, that you are lost. Reorganization allows the sequence level itself to vary, and this creates new sequences. This process of reorganization looks like a random shift into a new sequence, which is like a shift of attention. And reorganization might result in a distraction or in a new experience, a new path to follow. Level 7 organizes perceptions that share properties into categories. It clusters things that are similar. It helps the system to label perceptions. For example, is what you see here a goat or not? Is what you are feeling joy or something else? So from lower level, it gets clustered relationship signals and it compares these to a stored perception of a category. And it does act on its error by making a distinction between clusters of perceptual signals. Reorganization at this category level is needed when there is sustained error, and this will look like something a current perception is unknown. Reorganization allows the category perceptions to vary, and this is the formation of new knowledge. Reorganization at this level looks like creativity. It is in a broader sense out-of-the-box thinking, relabeling. It results in seeing something in a new way. Level 6 controls how lower-level perceptions are related, creating perspective, before and after, and causality. And what it does depends on what it connects. Configuration perceptions that are connected create the experience of space. Transition perceptions connected create the experience of time. And event perceptions that are connected create a process. So reorganization at this relationship level is needed when there is sustained error in relationships, and this will look like disconnection. And reorganization allows relationships to vary. It is the making of new connections between perceptions of underlying levels. It broadens your view through growing the number of connections or through connecting new parts, and it results in new relationships, connections, and associations. Level 5 controls a coherent pattern of short-term perceptions of underlying levels. So what it gets are clustered transition perceptions, which are made into an event by chunking the continuous signal. And this feels like something is happening. For example, a sip, a crash, a word. So not every signal is made into an event. Many perceptions remain continuous throughout the hierarchy. So reorganization is needed at the event level when there's sustained error, and this will look like nothing is happening. Reorganization allows events to vary, and this looks like noticing something, shifting attention to a new place, and it results in attending something else, something new. Level 4 controls the perception of time, movement or change as configurations, sensations or intensities vary. For example, water warming up or turning your face to view your second screen. And this level combines multiple configuration perceptions into the experience of change. It creates this wanted experience of change by varying configurations, sensations or intensities. So reorganization at the transition level is needed when there is sustained error, and this will look like the process is frozen. Nothing changes, you are stuck. And reorganization allows the transitions to vary. It lets the searchlight of attention wander, attracted to changing values in perceptual signals. And this results in the mobilization of attention over time and space, zooming in and out. Level 3 creates a sense of consistency, a perception of order in patterns and shapes. Objects are perceived as a unit, for example, a chair, emotions. without the labels, just the object, just a cluster of perceptions. The configuration control system receives multiple sensations and combines these into a pattern. It creates the perception of a pattern by varying the sensations. And reorganization is needed at the configuration level when there is sustained error, like when your view of something is limited and you are stuck in a certain way of looking at things. Now, reorganization allows configurations to vary. This looks like a shift of perspective, and results in looking at things from a new direction. Level 2 compounds sensory information into a single sensation or feeling. For example, feeling cold, feeling hot, tasting lemonade. It gets multiple intensity perceptions and compares them to what it wants to sense or feel. It creates that desired sensation by varying intensities. Reorganization at the sensation level is needed when there is sustained error, and this will feel like something feels wrong. Reorganization at this level allows sensations to vary. I think this is what feeling is. Feelings, emotions, sensations, they call for attention and guide the system to restore control. So successful reorganization results in positive emotions, joy, calm, happiness. And unsuccessful reorganization, if you can't get the sensation right, is like negative emotions such as sadness or anger. Level 1 controls the intensity of sensory information. It gets the signals from the senses and creates a desired intensity by moving the sensors through motor control. And this level loops through the environment or the internal organs, the environment of the control system. It is our interface with the outside world. Examples are the intensity of light, the intensity of a loud sound. And reorganization at the intensity level is needed when there is sustained error. This will be experienced as pain or discomfort. Reorganization allows intensities to vary. All level 1 control systems involved in reorganization are open to sensing and transmitting signals upward in the hierarchy. I think this looks like being aware, perceiving. I think this is the field of awareness. So we have traveled through the hierarchy from the top to the bottom, and we have encountered both the regulative system and the reorganization system. I think that the things we discovered in the reorganization side of the operation of the hierarchy can be considered treasures, which can improve our understanding of the role of perceptual control in human experience. We can define awareness and the operation of attention as parts of the reorganization process within the hierarchy and make sense of what it is like to be a perceptual control system, to be a human, in our case. That's all. Please don't hesitate to contact me to share ideas and explore further. Thank you for your attention.